Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is class number 5, and now we're going to talk about modeling. But you know what? This class is not about modeling, really. It's about tools we can use in order to model something. And I want to do this because obviously there's a lot of videos about modeling. If you just punch in YouTube how to model a face, how to model a hand, or things like that, you will get a lot of tutorials that will teach you how to model that. But if you don't know how to use the tools, that's the main problem. So I am going to be focused on teaching you how to use the tools, how to get to the parameters and how to tweak them. Obviously, that's the main thing about the way we teach in Cardano FX the school is, we want you to build things. We don't actually, uh, we will never give you exercises where we are actually giving you the tools. You need to create everything. And that's the main thing because you are practicing all the time and you are actually creating instead of just looking how we do the stuff. And that's the goal of our training, where you can actually build whatever you want to build. We will teach you, we will guide you how you can build this and all that, but we will never do it for you, or we will never give you anything. And we will give you the classes, we will teach you, we will give you the files that you need in order to complete that, but the work, the job, the project is always in your hands. And okay, so now let's start by doing this. And remember, this is class number 5, modeling, and we need something to start with. And I'm gonna just click here. We have our cube, and now with this cube, right now it's in wireframe mode. So if you want to change it, you can press 5 in your keyboard, or you can actually just click on this little icon, and that way you can switch. This is wireframe. This is shade with shader. This is the wireframe with the shade on top, and then we have textures, but we're going to talk about that later. For now, we have this option. Okay, press 5, and now, if you right click on top of this object, you're going to have access to what we call the object mode, and we have the face, remember, from previous movie. So you can come and select the face. And now I can select this face and I can drag it like this, and there we go. We have something that looks more like a piece of butter or something like that, or a train kind of thing. Just it's not a cube anymore. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. We have a base, and now I'm gonna go again to back to object mode, and then I'm gonna go to edit mesh. All right, in edit mesh, I'm gonna find all sorts of tools that will allow me to create cool models. And right now I'm gonna select this, and I am in object mode. So if I come here, you will see that I have one object called, for example, the insert edge loop tool. This one allows me to click, and I can click and drag, and if I release, I'm going to create an entire line of components, in this case lines, that are going to divide this object. So for example, I can place it right here, and now I have a division here. Okay, which means that now I can go, for example, select face. I'm going to press Q, and that way I can select the faces that I want. And then if I press W, I can take that, and this is just a new face. Instead of selecting all these face, I basically divided this into two objects. Okay, so that's the cool thing about the split edge loop tool. Now I can come here and select one edge, and I can drag like this, and now you can see I have a different shape. That's cool. Then I'm gonna go here, and I can select, now instead of selecting this one called the insert edge loop tool, I'm gonna select this one called interactive split tool. And this one allows me to specify exactly where I want to cut my object. So for example, I can place it right here, and then if you move, you're gonna have a snapping option depending of the parameters of your tool. In this case, I believe I have 3 different options, so it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is actually only 2, 1, 2, 3, no, 3 different options, and then the corners, right, the points. So I'm gonna click in the first one, and then I'm gonna go, and if you click again, you get that red point. Then if you click one more time, you get the red point, and oops, as you can see, I'm having trouble here. So if you have trouble with this tool, like in this case, all you need to do is press delete. Okay, if you press Ctrl C in order to undo, you are actually not removing that, you are actually undoing the last operation, and that's something that a lot of people is doing, and then they are like crazy saying, what is going on? All right, so remember, just delete and that will get you back. So one more time, we need to make sure that we are following the same direction. So I'm just gonna go here and try to click, and when you see the point in red, that means that we are in good understandings. Okay, so if it's orange, that means that it's not connected yet. So then click one more time and it's red, and then I'm gonna click one more time in order to cross that, and then I press enter, and that will give me that shape. Is actually the same kind of thing, but in cases when you need to cut that in a specific shape, you really need the split interactive split tool. Now a lot of people is having problems with this tool, and that it's I don't know, it has a lot of bugs since the last version. But what I will do is, if you want to use the previous version of this tool, all you need to do is press Shift, then right click, then you will go to the split tool, and then you have the split polygon tool instead of the interactive split tool. Okay, just go to split polygon tool and you will get access to the same kind of option, but this one is not interactive, but you get the idea. You can click and drag, and this one works a little bit better. But for now, let's stay with what we have. And now I can take again this face, for example, I can move it back, and I can press R, and then I can kind of form this face skeleton in the Z axis. And you know what? I actually didn't take a look of what my coordinates when I was starting to model. So I'm trying to build a plane or something like that. So let me just select this, and in order to get the idea, I'm going to create another interactive insert edge loop. So I'm going to create that right here at the kind of the center. Now if I click right here and I want to place it in between these two, exactly in the center, what I will do is I will try to find inside this new object my polysplit ring 2. Is polysplit ring 2 because I have number 1 first, was this one that we created before. Then as you can see, we have something else called polytwig, then we have polysplit, then we have polytwig 2. So every time you create or do something inside your mesh, inside your object, you are going to get different nodes or tabs added to this, and then you can come back and tweak them. But just like I showed you before, when we have the first main object, which is actually our polycube, if right now I come here and change this subdivision to 1 or 2, you can see how I am getting that, because this is happening before the other operations. So that's why you need to pay attention of what do you have at the beginning, and then how you are moving your objects. So now what I need here is find the polysplit number 2, which is the last one that I used, and then the weight attribute, I'm going to change that to 0.5, which means it's at the right center in between a range from 0 to 1, all right, where 1 is the space that I have in between 2 points. So 5 or 0.5 in this case is right in the middle. Perfect. So I have another line right here, and what I want is call this other one called the offset edge loop tool. With this one, I can now click on top of this one, the previous one that I created, and now I have access to create 2 different ones in 1 click. And the same thing, I can specify where I want it, like this is kind of interactive, and if I place it right here, then I'm gonna have this one called poly duplicate edge. I can click on that one, and the same thing, I can change the parameters. If I want them right in the center, same thing, 0.5, and that will put it like that, and now I have 4 different pieces that are actually the same size. But in this case, that's not right. That's not what I want, so I'm just gonna go here like not 1, but probably 2.5. Let's see. No, I'm not happy with that. So 3. No, not 3.5, just 35, and probably that's gonna work. And if I don't like it, I can come back and tweak that parameter, but just I need to make sure that it's not gonna affect any other piece of my object. So that's looking pretty good. Now what I will do is press Q in order to release my tool and get my selection tool, and I can right click, select face. Now another thing you can do is you press F8, you can go back to object mode, then F9, F10, and all these options are going to give you access to edge, vertex, face, and object mode. But in this case, because all these keys are connected to the program that I'm using to record, I can access to them, and I forget to switch my parameters, but for now, just it's another way of accessing to all these different tools. All right, so the next thing that I will do is I can actually select one face, and then I can press Shift, rotate pressing Alt and my mouse, right? And I can select the other side by pressing, if I hold Shift and then click again, now I have these two faces selected. Okay, you need to press Shift in order to get that type of selection where you can actually store information of your selection and continue to select some other faces. Perfect, so now we have that. Now what I can do is I'm going to call another object called Extrude, another tool called the Extrude. Now the Extrude allows me, it's kind of looks like the Move tool, but this one allows me to extract faces, and that way, as you can see now, I kind of extracting something, and these faces are being extracted from that, and that's pretty cool. Now the thing is that I can actually extract these faces, and I can, at the same time, I can move or scale these faces like that, and that's something that I really like because I can obviously tweak them like that. But now the problem here is that because these objects are kind of a mirror, if I move this in Y, the other one is moving down, all right? One up, one down. So what we can do here is change our environment to what we call the local, right now we are in local mode, but we can click on this little guy here, and now it's going to change that gizmo into the world of our 3D space. And now if I move them up, I can move them both like that, and then I can move them down, and it makes a lot more sense in this case, because I want to place it like kind of like this. All right, so that's good. Now as you can see, we have some other options here like thickness, offset, divisions, and that's something that we can use right here inside our viewport in order to increase the size of these movements that we are tweaking. But actually what I like to do almost all the time, I just come here and I try to look for my poly extrude face, and I can see that my parameters are right here. I have the poly extrude face history, and now you can take this and you can click on this data line and you can drag it so you have more space. And for example, I have thickness right here, which is the same parameter that I can see. Then I have the translation options if I want to translate this locally, or if I wanted to translate it. These are my attributes for translating in the world. As you can see, I have 0.49, which is the parameter that I tweak in order to move this. But you have, when you switch to this one, now you're using all these parameters, and that's why we have these different options here. But right now I'm happy with this, the extrusion. And just to recall, remember, just click, select, and extract using by default the Z-axis. The Z-axis is the one that is always available to you to pull or to push. But well, for now that's how we'll do it. Okay, now if you want to extract one more time, what we need is actually to come here, and right here this is the icon of the extrusion tool, so I can click one more time, and because these two faces are together still, I can come and continue my extraction. Now I wanted to see that I am extracting right now, and the extraction is moving in the Z-axis, but if I reset that to 0, I can actually come to my thickness instead, and I can say, you know what, 0.5, and that will give me kind of the same result. And this option, the thickness, I like it because sometimes you have the same problem like the one I showed you before, where you are tweaking something and it's going into a different direction. So thickness is making sure that you are only tweaking that portion, the volume. You are not messing around with the vertex position, and that's something that you have to keep in mind when you're working with this. Now I really don't like the way we have this kind of object, because they look like that, like they are wings, but not like this. It looks more like a cross or something. So let's try to fix that. But for now, I'm just gonna take first, for example, if I click in the middle of this, or if I click on this little box or cube, I will get access to the position, but in this case the size, excuse me, but in this case I am selecting the Z position here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to click in the center, and that way I can kind of, extract that, make it bigger, and that's cool. And now another thing that I'm going to do is just, they are still selected, both of these faces, so I'm just going to tweak this a little bit like that, and then I'm going to extract one more time. and I'm gonna call the thickness in the new extrude phase 3. I'm gonna place a number like 2. That's too much, so I'm gonna go 1.5. Okay, 1. Yeah, 1 is good. And then I'm gonna create another extraction one more time, and then I'm gonna pull like this, and just make sure that the other side everything is going like the same way, and I'm gonna try to do something like that. Okay, and now I don't have the cross. Well, it actually looks like a cross, but still is giving me some kind of shape, something that I wanted, because now I have this thing that I probably going to use to make something that looks more like a helicopter kind of thing. I don't know. All right, but you know, we're getting a different shape. So we have still a low poly model where we don't have a lot of divisions, a lot of different objects to work with, and that's pretty cool, because when we are starting to create the base of our objects, we want to have the less amount of polygons, because if you start dividing this, imagine if I will start with a cube with 10 divisions in each one of their faces, I will have to be moving and tweaking every single face, or I will have to come and select every single vertex and try to manipulate all these objects like that. So that's the why we want to keep everything smooth like this, even though right now it doesn't look pretty cool. But you know what, we have options like the smoothing, and if I press the smoothing option, pressing 3, that will give me that kind of look. Then I have 2, and will give me the kind of the right version, well, the version without smoothing and the smooth version, and then 1 will give me the result that I am expecting, the original one. But 3 is only in order to visualize how your object is going to look if you apply a smooth transition. So that's good. Now let's create something else. What can we do here? Let me see. I can actually come here, and let's bring our objects here. I'm going to select again the interactive split tool, and I'm going to click right here. Oh no, sorry, I don't want that one. I want the insert edge loop. I'm going to create another edge, and I'm going to click right here, and then I'm going to go to face, well, Q, select this face, and then I can probably select this face. You know what I will do is I'm going to take these objects. No, I don't know. I want to show you how to use one of these tools, but I don't know if they're going to work the way I want it. So what I will do is come here. I'm going to select the edge loop one more time, and I'm going to click right here. I'm going to make sure we are at let me go here. I'm going to move with this arrow so I can go to the last option, which is the poly split ring 4, and then I'm going to go here to weight, and I'm going to specify I want it in 1, and then I'm going to go and create another one here, which is going to be the poly split ring 5, and I'm going to make sure that it's in 1 so that I have the same amount of objects. And then I'm going to go here, select face, but Q in order to have my selection tool, and I'm going to select these two faces. Okay, and the tool that I want to use now is one called the bridge. All right, and I'm going to click on the bridge just once like that, and you will see that, wow, I have something pretty cool. I mean, it's not probably the most amazing thing, but as you can see, just by selecting these two objects, I created a bridge. All right, now this bridge has a lot of features, and you can come and change the smoothing angle that we have. Let me set that to 30. Then I can change the number of divisions that I want, and the same thing, if I get if I don't have a big amount of it, I will get something like this, and then if I increase the number of divisions, I will get something more smooth, and that will give me better results depending on what are you trying to create, right? Then we have the twist attribute that allows me to twist that operation, and I have the tapper that allows me to make it bigger or smaller, and then probably I can use that even to make a a parachute where you can deform this if you get it a little bit more thin, we will use it as a parachute where we can jump from the plane or things like that. I don't know, a lot of things that we can do with all these different tools. So let me just adjust the divisions like this. I want to adjust that, and I don't know, we are getting something here. Now let me, we're running out of time. So I'm just gonna take this object and I'm gonna select my extrude and I'm gonna go like this, and just let's tweak some of the points. So I'm gonna select in points mode. I go to vertex, I select like that, then I press W, and now if I spacebar click and go to my side view, you can see that now my side view is my front view because I actually didn't pay attention to the orientation when I started modeling this thing. So now my side view is the front view, and if I want I can go to the front view and it's going to change to my side view and so on. Now if you are in the side view or the front view, you can see how you can come and see exactly the shape of your object, and then I can come and try to give it reshape that object. And from this window is pretty cool because it allows me to go and specify exactly what I want and how I want it, you know, and that's what we want a lot of times. So I'm gonna take this and probably this shape going like that, then I can go to the top view and the same thing, I can get closer, and right now it's like a square kind of thing. So I can take these two, and now instead of moving them I can select my scale tool and I can go like this. I can take these two and kind of move. If I click in every single point I can select only that area, but if you drag and select, you're going to select all the points that are in the same position crossing the object. Okay, so I think that's going to work for me right now. And remember, I wasn't expecting to create a perfect model. All I want to do is to show you the different tools that we have, and I think that's something that we're going to be using in the rest of our training to create different things. So now remember, if you select your object, press 3, you're going to get some kind of weird shape now. But we can actually reinforce all these by using more divisions in some areas only to hold the operations that we have. And what I mean is, like, I'm running out of time, but don't worry, I will try. I'm gonna go here to edit, and then I'm gonna call the bevel, for example. And if I bevel this, you can see that I beveled the entire object. So I have all this bevel inside my entire object. And if I press 3 now, the shape is going to be smoother, but I'm still going to be holding the basic shapes that I get. And now that tool that I just showed you, the bevel, you can actually call it from here, bevel, and you can use it only in one point, only in one line, or only in one face. It all depends of what area are you selecting. But for now, I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you get something from it. And remember, please comment, please like the video, share it, and we will be waiting for you. At cardanfx.com if you find that you really want to take this to the next level. For now, that's it. Thank you very much, and I will see you later. Bye-bye for now.